Episode 8 just gave us the scene this entire show has been building toward for 4 seasons. Tabitha, standing in the same spot where Jim died, face to face with the man in yellow. And he tells her something nobody in this town has tried in decades. Dig up the bones. That might be the way out. Half the fan base is calling it a lie. The other half is calling it the first real hope this show has ever handed anyone. I think they're both missing the actual twist. I don't think he's lying. I think he's telling the truth, and I think that's so much worse than a lie. Stick around, because by the end of this video, I want to walk you through why a true statement from this character is the most dangerous thing he's ever said, and why the person I'm most worried about right now isn't even Tabitha. Let's get into it. Quick recap, so we're all working from the same scene. Sophia steals the yellow suit from Boyd. She uses it, using Thomas's voice, to lure Tabitha out to the overturned RV, the exact place Jim was killed back in Season 1. Tabitha walks in expecting Thomas. She gets the man in yellow instead, full yellow suit, standing in a room that's now wallpapered with Ethan's drawings. We're going to come back to those drawings. Don't lose that detail. He tells her 2 things. First, he's not planning to kill her. Not yet. His exact reasoning is that he wants to see how far she and Jade get toward figuring out the way out of the township. And he adds, almost casually, that maybe the moment they're closest to hope is the moment he'll end it. Second, the big one. Nobody in this town has ever thought to dig up the children's bones. And doing it might be the key to leaving. Or it might unleash a type of suffering nobody's ready for. That's the whole exchange. 2 sentences. And somehow it's split the entire fandom in half. Here's the trap in how most reactions are framing this. Everyone's asking, is the man in yellow telling the truth about the bones? Wrong question. The right question is, why would an entity that has never once acted in anyone's interest suddenly hand over a genuine answer? Let's establish his track record first, because it matters. This is the thing that spent half a season wearing Sophia's face without anyone clocking it. This is the thing that poisoned Henry through blood, not through force, through a drink shared like it was nothing. This is the thing that dug Roger out of the ground and walked him back in a colony house like he was just another resident coming home. Every single move this entity makes goes through someone else. He doesn't pull triggers. He arranges things so other people pull them. So when he looks Tabitha dead in the eye and says, here's the way out, you don't ask if it's true. You ask what telling her changes. And here's the answer I keep landing on. A lie is cheap. People in this town have been burned by false hope for 4 seasons straight. The radio that crackled on and went dead, every rescue that turned out to be another loop. They've built up scar tissue against lies. A lie barely registers anymore. But a true exit, one he lets them see clearly, one he basically hands them the map to, that's not hope. According to several recap breakdowns of this episode, even outlets covering the show beat for beat are split on whether this is a genuine warning or a manipulation tactic. And honestly, that ambiguity is the point. He's not choosing between a lie and the truth. He's choosing the version of honesty that does the most damage. I want to make an actual claim here instead of just hedging, because I think the show has earned a direct read at this point. I believe the bones are real. I believe digging them up genuinely is tied to a way out of this place. The reincarnation thread this season, the structure of the curse, the way every clue this season has pointed at the bone chamber as load-bearing to the whole mystery, it all lines up. This isn't filler. The showrunners have spent 8 episodes walking every character toward this exact location. So if the bones are real, why frame it as a coin flip between salvation and catastrophe? Because look at exactly how he phrases it. He doesn't say, dig them up, you're free. He frames it as her choice, her risk, her responsibility either way. If she digs and it goes wrong, that's hers to carry. If she doesn't dig and the whole town stays trapped, that's hers too. He's not handing her a door. He's handing her the full weight of every outcome behind that door, while he stands back and watches which way she leans. That's not generosity. That's the most efficient form of psychological control I've seen this show pull off, and the show has pulled off a lot of them. This is the part of episode 8 I think is getting buried under all the Tabitha discussion, and it might be the most important thread in the whole hour. While Tabitha is getting her RV meeting, Henry is falling apart in a completely different way. He keeps slipping into visions of waking up somewhere else entirely, a care facility, being told the township is a coma dream, that the only way back to the people he loves is to force himself out of the dream. Break it. In it from the inside. If you've watched this show for 4 seasons, that sentence should set off alarms, because we've heard that exact theory before. Word for word, almost. That was Abby's delusion. Quick reminder for anyone who needs it. Abby was Boyd's wife. At some point during her time in the township, she convinced herself the entire place was a nightmare and that nobody trapped inside it could actually die because dreams don't have real consequences. So in her mind, waking everyone up was the kind thing to do. She got a gun. She believed shooting people would snap them back to reality instead of ending them. Boyd had to stop her himself. He had to kill his own wife to keep her from killing the town. That's a wound this show has never let him fully put down. So now look at Henry. Reality isn't real. It's a dream. The way out is to force your way through it. That's not a coincidental echo. That is Abby's exact belief, reinstalled in a new person. And the connective tissue is blood. Sophia poisoned Henry using the man in yellow's own blood, the same way this entity has worked through every host before him. Put those 2 scenes side by side, and you get something uncomfortable. In one room, he's quietly convincing Henry that death is a door out of a fake reality. Outside, he's telling Tabitha that there's a real door, and the choice to use it is hers alone. Different rooms, different lies, same operation. And there's a third piece that ties it together. Boyd has a vision in the woods this episode. Kenny, J, Donna, Tabitha, Ellis, all of them shot. Given everything we just laid out about Henry's mental state and the blood running through him, that vision stops looking like a metaphor for grief and starts looking like a preview. So here's where I land, and I want to say this plainly instead of dancing around it. The exit is real, because a real exit is the only thing capable of doing what this entity actually wants done. Go back to what he told Tabitha about his own plans. He's not killing her yet. He wants to watch her and Jade get close to the answer. Maybe, he says, when they're at their most hopeful, that's when it ends. Read that again. He needs the hope to be genuine. You can't break something that was never real in the first place. A lie you see through hurts for a minute, and then it's over. But a door you can actually see, a door you're allowed to walk most of the way through before it's taken away. That's the kind of wound that doesn't close. That's the cruelty this character actually deals in. Not killing for its own sake. Getting people to the edge of rescue and making absolutely sure they understand, in the last second, exactly how close they came. And once you see that pattern, you start noticing it everywhere in this show's history. The radio signal that flickered on and died. Every rescue attempt that turned out to be another loop of the same town. Jim's machines, season after season, each one a breakthrough that turned to nothing right before it worked. This place doesn't crush people when they're already hopeless. It waits until they've built something worth believing in, and then it takes it apart in front of them. A real exit fits that pattern perfectly. He told the truth because the truth, in his hands, is the weapon. Earlier, I asked which way he actually wants this to go. Here's my answer after sitting with it. I don't think he cares. I think both outcomes work for him. If Tabitha digs, and it unleashes whatever suffering he warned about, he wins. If she freezes out of fear and the town spends the rest of the season stuck in the exact hopelessness that turned Abby into a killer, the hopelessness Boyd has spent years trying to keep everyone away from, he wins that version too. He didn't give her one door. He built a trap with 2 exits, and he's standing on the other side of both of them. And that brings us back to those drawings. Ethan's sketches plastered across the inside of that RV while the man in yellow makes his offer. Ethan is the one character in this show who's repeatedly proven he can see the township for what it actually is, draw it, map pieces of it nobody else can find. So having Ethan's work surrounding this entity while he sells Tabitha a way out reads less like decoration and more like a signature. It's not hiding the map. It's telling everyone watching it already knows the map better than anyone trying to follow it. So here's my honest prediction. Not a hedge, an actual call. The bones are the real key. I think before the season ends, someone digs them up. I don't think it frees a single person. I I think it's the exact moment this trap finishes closing. And the person I'm most worried about isn't Tabitha. It's Henry. He's already got the blood in him. He's already hearing the exact dream logic that turned Abby into someone who picked up a gun, believing she was saving people. Boyd's vision in the woods already showed bodies on the ground. If anyone in that town ends up holding a weapon convinced that death is a door, every piece of evidence in this episode points at Henry being that person. The exit being real isn't the good news in this story. It's the mechanism. And I think we're a couple episodes away from watching it actually spring. So that's where I'm landing on episode 8. Now I actually want to read on this. Do you think the bones get dug up before the finale? And if they do, does anyone actually walk out? Or is this exactly the trap I think it is? Drop your theory below. I read through every comment on these breakdowns. And if this video connected a few dots you hadn't put together yet, subscribing genuinely helps the channel keep doing deep dives like this one episode after episode. See you in the next one.